So we're here with Tommy Snyder at Evercast. Evercast is a thing that you can use. That's terrible. I was going to be like, it's a thing you can use if you need to collaborate remotely. We were just saying sort of off camera about how it was not a pandemic project, but really exploded during the pandemic.
Yes.
I think you guys, maybe not the first, but certainly the most robust version of what you do. So why don't you, I guess, tell me
we hope so, 100%. So yeah, Evercast is a live collaboration platform. What we specialize in is bringing video conferencing to creative remote workflows, right? So what we call is the script-to-screen process. That's kind of the buzzword that we use. So everything from previs, location scouting, all the way through that pipeline, coloring and finishing, we kind of have workflows for everything in between, right? And so where we really come in is we are a partner to our clients. We figure out what your current workflow is. Now, how can Evercast fit into that to save you time, money, help with that resource efficiency and allow creatives to work wherever they want to work, right? I mean, the pandemic really spread everybody out. Everybody was working from home. They got used to it. They love it. And we want to continue to provide that service for them.
Right. So, stupid question, but you know where I'm going. What's the difference between you guys and say if I were on Zoom and doing a screen share?
Yeah, great question. So where we really specialize is incredibly low latency and high quality, right? So that's really, and then again, we are built for the media and entertainment industry. That is our specialty. We while we do corporate stuff, we do things outside of media and entertainment. That is really where our bread and butter is. That's where we were born. And so, yeah, if you notice the lag on some of those other conferencing tools, that's where we come in to say, nope, let's get rid of the lag. We do a lot of really cool stuff on our back end to help with that. And then we're continuing to just add integrations, add tools for the creatives, that these other platforms just don't have yet.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I think you guys, if I'm not mistaken, color accuracy is a issue.
Yeah, 100%. So especially from a remote perspective, right? It's really hard to get that true accurate color. And so we actually completely redid our entire color pipeline. We worked with some really high-end colorists all across the film and TV to kind of QC it for us, make sure that it was working correctly. Without getting too technical on it, basically the approach that we take
our audience is nerdy as fuck.
Okay, 100%. I love it. So basically how we do it is we take in the source stream that's coming into the room. We automatically detect that. We have a direct integration with the Blackmagic deck link. So we automatically detect that. You can do custom, you can go in, change your primary, change your transfer function, do all of that thing right there within our app. And then once we detect that source, we actually convert it to a YUV logarithmic space. It's not exactly how it works, it's just the best way to think about it.
10-bit or?
10-bit 444, all the way up to PQ, HDR10 we'll support up to. And so, and once we do that conversion, we actually parse the ICC profile of every user's monitor. We find their white point, and then we do a mathematical conversion to get as close to a one-to-one as possible with that user's monitor.
That's insanity.
Yeah, and then it's not enough to just do that, right? Because how do I know that what I'm seeing is the same thing? With that conversion, I still don't know that I'm seeing the red the same way you are.
Right.
So we have our stream details panel where you can actually go in and I see what percentage of that full, let's say we're doing Rec 2020, I can see what percentage of that Rec 2020 I'm seeing based on my specific monitor. So if I have a full color graded monitor, I'm gonna see that in 100%. If not, I might see that in 65%, 50%. So now you can kind of start seeing how things are, looking from your end, making sure that it's all looking good so that way you can have that true remote color grading process.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've spoke to on the Frame and Reference podcast with a bunch of DPs is how they're all like, if you're on a Mac, ignore it because that color is not accurate, unfortunately. It's weird for Mac, but fine. So they all have to buy like iPad Pros and ship them off to the client. So the idea that you can figure out the ICC profile of a monitor based, how do you even, I guess we don't need to know that, but you did it.
Yes, 100%.
Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously for non-color managed workflows, it's just a good platform to share editing stuff. And
100%, yeah.
I'm looking at the demo and it looks like you can mark stuff up as it goes.
Yep, absolutely, yeah. So we have draw tools, chat icons. We can actually hyperlink chat to recording. So if you make a chat in there, you're reviewing it, you're not sure what the context was of that, you can actually click on that chat. It'll take you to that exact moment in the recording. So you get the full context of what that person was saying. Yeah, streaming from any NLE. So we take an extremely agnostic approach, right? That our whole philosophy from a product perspective is we want to work with everybody. It does not matter what it is. Doesn't matter the NLE. Doesn't matter the asset management tool. we're going to plug all of it into the Evercast platform, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really our mission and what we're trying to do. Because again, creatives use everything under the sun, right? And we don't want to pigeonhole them to use certain things. We want them to be able to use whatever platform they want.
Right. And I don't know if it's been on camera, but basically you've got the screen share essentially, and then to the right you've got everyone's faces.
Yeah, exactly.
Faces, and then what's on the left? The chat.
Yeah, it could be chat. So the way that we kind of so we kind of did our whole rebuilt and that's the Apple Vision Pro up there. So we do support that. We released that to date with Apple, which was really an amazing experience. But so what we do is we kind of completely just redid our entire UI. So from a general conferencing perspective, you see all the participants just like you would with the Zoom, Google Meet, all of those. And then, we have a bunch of different stream types that come into the room. Once that stream type comes into the room, so if you're coming from an NLE or a file that's local to your computer, a live camera, once that comes into the room, that's what we prioritize. So that becomes the main thing on the screen, and then everybody else is just kind of there to hear and listen, but we really prioritize the content because that's what we're focusing on and working on, right? So,
yeah. You know, it's funny because behind the scenes, Jessica, who, I don't even know what her job title is here, but someone who's works at this company. We went to college together, and so hearing like, oh, your friend is with this company. Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. And then the more people I spoke to, either DPs, but also a lot of people in post. We have a sister podcast. It's all editing. Pro Video was primarily post early on.
Okay, got it.
I'm the production guy.
Yeah.
It was insane to start hearing how many enormous productions
are
all like it's almost like a given. You know, it's like, oh, we're on Avid and we're using Evercast. Like it's not even a question. So it's very cool to see how quickly you guys have established yourself as like the go-to tool for this kind of thing.
Absolutely. We're trying to really bring the standard, right? Be the standard and bring the standard there. And we feel incredibly fortunate that we've been able to work with such amazing creatives, such amazing studios. You know, all of our partners are just incredible. So we've gotten to do a lot of really, really cool stuff. You know, just got a tweet from John Chu a little bit ago using the Apple Vision Pro, which was just really cool. So thank you, John, for that. And it's been amazing.
Yeah, you can see some of the. I mean, it's every big film.
100%. Yep, absolutely. Film, TV, gaming. Now we're starting to get into and advertising. So really broadening out.
That's interesting. What about how's the gaming industry just in terms of creating the game?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So they're
not
using
gamers necessarily.
Not gamers yet. But a lot of audio workflows that they're using, ADR solutions through us, which is pretty cool. And then they're actually going from console. As they're developing that game, they want to see what that game plays like. So they basically go from the console into Evercast and now live collaborate on that and make notes, all those type of things.
That actually reminded me probably a good thing to touch on, security.
Yes, absolutely. So we take our security incredibly seriously, right? Because we're working with such red content here, all of it is, really valuable IP that we don't want to leak out. So we were actually the very first TPN Gold assessed application, which was amazing. We do watermarking. We have visual right now. Forensic is coming. MFA, and then we do basically a 256-bit encryption. So every user that comes into the room, they're going to have a handshake with each other and also the stream. We track everything, log everything. We know who's coming into the room, what they're watching. So that way, if anything does happen, we can make sure that we say, hey, here's that person that leaked this footage, right?
And so from the user perspective, is it like I get a subscription and then I can have whoever I want in the room? You got to pay per seat? What's the...
No, so it's a per room license, right? And so you can think of the room like a hotel room. That's how we so once you get in that room, you can do whatever you want with that room. We don't, you can have as many people as you want in there, disinvite, invite, you can spin that room down and spin it back up. So what a lot of projects do is they'll come in, they'll have their editorial department in there, they'll spin that room down, make a new room, and then come in with their VFX department, right? So and it's a monthly subscription. I think $849 a month.
Yeah. And anything kind of new that you're promoting at NAB?
Yes, we have a ton of new stuff. So one of the big ones is previously with Evercast, you could only stream one deck link into the room, and that was it. Now we've added what we're calling parallel streams, so that'll actually allow you to do multiple deck link instances from one computer. So what we have here is we're showing 4 cameras going into a Quad Pro, a deck link Quad Pro, and now we can actually stream each one of those cameras into the room plus the A10 multi-view. So now we're actually building that video village within the Evercast app. One of the other things that we have is what we're calling App Share. So we're really excited about App Share. We noticed that, again, as creatives use 1,000 different applications, and we got a lot of feedback that, hey, you know, I'm so sick of having to jump to this one, close this one out, go back to it. And so we thought, well, why don't we be the one source that you start all of this from? And so we'll actually be integrating with web applications and bringing those into the platform, so that way you can start that stream and head straight to that platform. So the first 3 that we'll be launching with are Frame.io, SyncSketch, and ShotGrid. Wonderful. So now within the room, you can stream Frame.io, boom, that appears. And then the next step of that will actually be to allow for participant control as well. So as the streamer, I can decide if I want my producer to actually take control of that Frame.io and do things from a full remote perspective.
That's huge too, because it's so annoying when they go, wait, pause there, pause there.
Exactly.
I made this, you hit players, pause, and we'll talk about
exactly, it. 100%. Yeah, or they need to make comments on that, right? Because we're going and they want to do comments for later. They can go in, type that comment into the Frame.io asset. And so now all your information is living with that asset, right? That's how we want it. We don't want it to be here and here and there and there. No, it should just live on that asset. And so that's what we're trying to bring. Yeah. And then the last thing that we have is our view only mode. Theater mode is what we're calling it. And so this will basically, right now, our participant limit's about 25. And so for some clients,
any more than that's probably not like an effective
100%, yeah. It's interesting because we got a lot of, especially in the VFX review, they want to bring all their VFX editors into the room, and then they want to be able to talk with the director, right? Their head of VFX with the director want to chat, and then everybody listen. And so what we decided to do was make this theater mode where you can have up to 100 participants in the room, and then they'll basically be viewers. And so you'll have your active contributors. Those are the ones that are talking, they're streaming stuff in, and then everybody else is just a viewer that will make comments and chats and things like that. But that's it. So.
Well, it's exciting to be here before your booth gets the size of Adobe.
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully one day, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, thanks for sharing with me.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. Really.